Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Vintage at the request of Patreon subscriber Claire, and this is Tinker Initiative. As always, Claire Leagues come with a shout out for trans rights. Big believers on this channel of leaving people alone who are just trying to live their lives. That said, this deck is a deck that has existed for a number of years that I mostly think is a mess, but there is a new place to explore with it, and that's Flow State. This is ultimately just a big classic control deck. You have a bunch of answers to stuff and a bunch of card advantage, and then like 4 or 5 cards that win the game kicking around. Any one of them can win the game on their own. There's Tinker for Bolas's Citadel. Basically the worst Bolas's Citadel deck imaginable, but this card is still pretty messed up when it's in play. And it gives you a gear that you could functionally win the game, or at least get overwhelming advantage on turn 1. Monastery Mentor, restricted card in Vintage, can win the game by itself. White Bloom Adventure, getting the initiative, can win the game by itself. And Card the Great Creator has access to a single Mycosynth Lattice in the sideboard. That can also win the game by itself. Why is this okay? Why does a deck this kind of, dare I say, boring exist in the Vintage format? It's just hyper consistent at what it does. And the question is what it does actually good enough? And Flow State, I did a video last week. I called it Paradoxical Outcome List, Paradoxical Outcome. It was a Justin Gennari, I am actually level 1 construction, where having 4 Flow State and 4 stock up in a core with Lorien Revealed and counterspells, lots of counterspells, quickly turns on the Flow State, and that gives you critical redundancy in just filling your hands with more cards. And then what shell you put that in and what win conditions you pair with it, really up to you at the end of the day. I saw this list made top 8 of an online challenge last weekend, and I just have to take a look at it because I love a big clunky control deck. Don't get me wrong. I have registered Nahiri the Harbinger at Vintage Eternal Weekend in my life. That's a true story. There are times where this sort of thing is good. And if this clunky chunky 4 Swords to Plowshares deck that can fend off Psychic Frogs also now has the card advantage to keep up with casting Force of Will 4 or 5 times in a game against the combo decks, it might have something. Got to do my due diligence and try it out. This is Tinker Initiative with Flow State. Let's do it. The weekend of July 11th, I'll be headed to Baltimore for the DMV Legacy League's Triple Threat Weekend. CubeCon DMV is the heart of the event, featuring 3 drafts of elite curated cubes with a cut to top 8 on Sunday. Saturday, you can test your mettle in the DMV Legacy League's annual Legacy Open, the Classic. And Sunday, join the NYC Pauper League in Pauper Genesis, the biggest Pauper event in North America to date. And best of all, the event is for charity. Sign up at dmvll.com/BoshNRoll. Save $20 if you sign up for the Classic before June 1st. I'll see you there. I am on the play in the first round. Tragic Meticulous Archive in my hand. I am not going to mulligan this because I still have Force of Will to try to survive the turn cycle and get this Ancestral Recall going. But if this was Island or Tundra, this is so easy. My opponent's not a Lurrus deck, which means there's a good chance they are a Wasteland deck. A little nervous about that, but we soldier on. Meticulous Archive, Lorien Revealed. I will keep that. That is access to an island eventually if I get Wastelanded here, and it's a blue card for Force if I don't. A Polluted Delta. Okay, Polluted Delta out of a non-Lurrus deck. I'm thinking Doomsday. I've been probed. Pull it to the side and get all up in it. Okay, they know what I'm working with here. And I'm just going to pass. They've seen the Ancestral now, which means we are playing chicken around that a little bit. Spell Pierces and Flusterstorms are cards I can ignore with some patience. Oh, it's Oath. Okay. All right. Spell Pierce and Flusterstorm are still cards I want to acknowledge and respect. Okay, the Oath of Druids is on the stack. I could Ancestral in response, fight over Ancestral. Like, the trick is, how much do I care about Oath being in play with my current setup? I think I'm going to let it resolve. Like, if they hadn't made their land drop already, I'd think about countering it, because if they follow up with an Orchard, that's kind of bad for me. I do also play all 5 Wastelands I'm allowed to play, which means if they find an orchard, I can plow my spirit and then waste them. But playing the land before the oath, like even if you don't have an orchard, you should play your land after oath to make me think maybe you do have orchard, which makes me think they actually do have a fluster or a pierce. Hey, there's that wasteland. Okay, I'm hiding that shit. And I'm gonna pass here. If they fetch, I can ancestral, and they have to have force. Okay, yeah, no fetch. We're both playing around the same thing here. The fetch in the main phase. Okay, I've played around Spell Pierce. I've not played around Flusterstorm. I'm going to Ancestral here. Because if they do have Fluster, then... Okay, so... Force pitching Show and Tell. I could force some negation this. Pitching Stock Up. Yeah, I think this is a fight I'm okay with. And pitching the Stock Up versus the Force is actually interesting. Like, Fluster was going to work there anyway. I didn't lose anything. I don't think they have Flusterstorm. Ancestral over top of the Demonic Tutor. Okay. I'm going to let the Demonic resolve because this is likely going to get Forbidden Orchard. Yep, there it is. And because I have the Plow in the Wasteland, I can just mush through this. Waste that shit. Yep, you're making a blue. I'll change phases. And Swords to Plowshares this. Just how we drew it up. Okay. I have Force Blue card in my hand, and good stuff to do. I need them not to come up with another Orchard in the near future. Stock Up. I am going to force this, and I think Tinker is the pitch. A Stock Up just looks like a better card than Tinker here. Oh, someone drew a Flusterstorm. Yeah, I clearly didn't have that on any of the last 2 turns. Okay. Noted. All right, you get to stock up. Enjoy. Yeah, there were 3 spells on the stack that would have been flustered if they had it any earlier than right now. Cataxian Probe, what are you working with? Oko and Flow State. All right. Stock up. Wasteland and Ponder. Wasteland and Plow. I'm moderately confident I want the Wasteland. I could just take them off green right now, but Flow State is ready to go. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Wasteland and Ponder, and I kind of just have to let them Flow State. I'm falling behind here. Stock up and Strip Mine. I guess I will take a stock up, and I'll take the Strip Mine under it. This Flusterstorm was rough, team. Not going to lie. Instead of feeling way ahead, I feel slightly behind. They can give me a creature. They actually can't. So if I don't play anything they can elk, then there's nothing to elk. Like, they can't give me a 3/3 in any way. The exchange of an artifact or creature, yeah, they could elk anything they could exchange. So as long as I just have lands in play, Oko doesn't really do anything. However, if they elk one of their own things, I get to trigger Oath, which gives me the initiative, or makes a mentor. But my deck's not going to have Gaia's Blessing in it and be built to Oath a bunch of times. Don't love those odds for me. Maybe I was disrespectful of the Oath on that first turn. Maybe I should have just countered it. Oh, Flow State into Flow State. They're showing me what's up. That's what I'm trying to do. I did just stock up into stock up, though. So I am kind of playing this game I'd like to play. It's a lot of looks at Orchard. Ooh, and no land at all, though. That's somehow much scarier. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't take a land here unless it's Orchard. All right, what does my deck even do here? Karn can still win this game, maybe. I have 4 Containment Priests in the sideboard that I might be interested in. I have a Bolus of Citadel. I'd have to find Black Lotus to cast. I have Urza Saga that could win a game. I don't have a Prismatic Ending or anything that could actually remove an Oath. I don't have a Caracas either. All right. It's crazy looking at my deck list and seeing this whole row of Moxen and the Solarian Academy. It's like, that has not been my experience this game. I haven't even bottomed any cards like that off of my stock ups. Right, I'm going to play Wasteland and stock up, leaving up mana. Mystical Tutor. No way that's good with Tinker out of my deck, right? I've already cast Ancestral. Tinker is in exile. I don't play any other tutors. One thing I could do is play White Plume Adventurer and then kill it before Oath triggers, and then the initiative is just ticking. That's kind of interesting. I don't have the way to kill it, but that is a thing I can do. It's legal. in the rules of Magic. I think I just want Flow State and Lorien, though. Keep the cards coming. Leave the creatures in my deck in case we end up in a world where my opponent is letting me trigger Oath. Okay, there's Plow and White Plume. That's the whole plan I just laid out. I'll take them. All right. Interesting. So I could do something like play White Plume, Plow White Plume, waste 2 of your lands, see if you could beat the initiative. Ancient Tomb. And if they show and tell, I'll just put in White Plume. All right, stock up. It's going to resolve. If they get rowdy with their life total with something like Ancient Tomb, I could punish that. Stocked up to 6 cards in hand, left 3 mana up. In my upkeep, something's happening. Oh, are we flashing? Yeah, we are. I can fluster that. Probably should, right? Yeah, I will. Just take this cheeky fluster while I've got it. And I could pay if they fluster me back. They'd need 2 Force of Wills to push this through, which would mean that Atraxa is the only card left in their hand when the Atraxa comes in. I guess Veil of Summer would beat me here too. Sometimes Oath has that. And by beat me, I mean get Atraxa into play briefly and trigger it. The opponent's doing a lot of thinking. A lot of time has passed since I targeted this flash with Flusterstorm, which makes me think they might have some kind of tricks to do here. Wow, okay. Force and Negation pitching Oko. They are doing the double force thing. Or, yeah, they only need 1 force because they can pay for the Flusterstorm. Tight. Okay. Cool. Yeah, there was no window to Wasteland here. That things just happen in upkeeps. That's magic. All right, Atraxa briefly in play. Atraxa trigger happens. This actually looks really bad. They've got Forbidden Orchard, a bunch more Oaths, Mana Crypt, Viseju, who cares? That was a pretty big whiff as far as whiffs go. They're happy to see the Orchard, that's what they were looking for. But now I have to really consider where the Swords to Plowshares is going. They took Bauble, Oath, Decay, Atraxa, Orchard. Okay, now I draw for my turn. They can actually cast Atraxa now. Orchard also taps for any color, in addition to everything else it does. Do I want to waste this Hedge Maze? And then play out the Strip Mine to deal with Orchard. There's still 2 Orchards in the deck that will be problems eventually. The other option is there's an Atraxa in their hand, 1 in the graveyard. I could let them Oath, plow the Atraxa with the trigger on the stack, and hope they're out of Atraxas. If they have Gaia's Blessing, that doesn't work. Just trying to think if this game is winnable if I don't have the initiative, and where the correct place to put my risk is. I could also just cast Lurian Revealed, go to 7 cards in hand, and hope Time Walk's not in their hand. I guess I'll do that. This is my last chance to deploy Moxen as well. There is the full boat of them in my deck. There's one now. Okay, this does give them something that Oko can elk, but they did just pitch Oko to that force. All right, I'll get that into play while I can. Here's Bolas' Citadel. Terrible, terrible card, especially knowing Vexing Bauble is in their hand. Orchard. Are we casting Atraxa? Playing Bauble. Continue to be aggressive with that Ancient Tomb. Oath. Oath. Okay, the double Oath. That's playing around removal for Oath, which I don't have, but they don't know that. If I can get Time Walk in my hand, it's possible that them casting Atraxa would win me the game. If I can like spell, Time Walk with a Mentor in play, I might be able to outmuscle an Atraxa. Stock up. Okay, I'm going to Wasteland Orchard first, because that's happening. You make a dope. We move phases. Get rid of that blue. Second main. And I think Academy's as good as any other land here. I can hide the Strip Mine. Stock up. Okay, another Plow. I do like that card. Plow's in. And I guess I want Flow State. Force of Will is available on the hard cast. Like at large here. So I think it is Flow State. All right, plow Flow State. And I'll plow this Spirit token. I have Flusterstorm that can fight if they fight that. Okay, cool. And that means the coast is clear to flow. Versus Saga, kind of a win con. So I don't want to be making constructs into their stuff. That's the problem here. The problem isn't I don't have a creature. The problem is I can't put it into play. Which means I guess I'm taking these blue cards. And pass the turn. Another Orchard. Are we going to have the same turn cycle over again? Or do you want to cast Atraxa and see what happens? Okay, something's happening. Spell is being cast. A big spell. Okay. Atraxa happens. Can't stop it. And my opponent's played a land already, and they can't play Moxen, so I'm going to let Atraxa resolve. Oh, we've got a Raph and Mikey in the chat. Guy's Blessing confirmed in the deck. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have access to my Time Walk, which means I probably just have to go to my turn without plowing anything and see how the turn looks. They took Show and Tell, Delta, Oath, Ancestral. Like, I could plow Atraxa, but we've seen Guy's Blessing in the deck now. That doesn't help. I'm going to go to my turn. I could plow Spirit, and then I get to Oath, but I don't think that helps either. If I find Time Walk, we could maybe do something. I'll start with Flow State. Do I have artifacts that can come into play anymore? I have one Soul Ring in the deck. All right. So maybe I don't tap Academy yet. Flow State. I did connect on the Soul Ring. Soul Ring, good. These forces are, I guess, castable. I needed that to be more than it was. So here, if I plow my Spirit and play White Plume, that doesn't trigger Oath. But a opponent hits me with Atraxa and I immediately lose the initiative. That doesn't work. I guess I'll take Force of Negation. And then Strip Mine as my land for turn. Soul Ring is legal to cast. I've got 8 mana here. I think I have to play White Plume and hold up Plow. Do I attack and give them 7 life? I think that's actually good. Okay, I'm going to attack first. Because if they block this just to gain their 7 life, then I have not triggered the Oaths by adding White Plume. I want this and this out of play, but I only have 1 removal spell. So if they get rid of this for me, I can live with that. Opponent's been thinking really hard about every play this game as well, which means they're at 10 minutes on their clock to my 15. And this is just game 1, and the sideboard games are going to be better for me. This would be very frustrating in paper. I just have to think about the practicalities of playing a mushy blue-white deck in a shared clock tournament. But in the Moto chess clock, I'm getting a lot of advantage here by playing it out. After a full minute of thinking, did not block. That was the right call. Yeah, the Raph and Mikey being in the deck is also shitty for me because that's a known haste threat. That's 2 things, which means I can't even rely on Swords to Plowshares to carry the whole game for me. Maybe what I need to do here is just plow Atraxa after the upkeep. Does that mean I wasteland now? Or strip mine now? But I haven't dealt with the spirit that's already in play. Okay, I am going to waste the Forbidden Orchard, and then I'm going to pass into their turn. Okay, the upkeep has occurred. Draw for turn. 8 cards in hand. I can plow with Force of Negation and Flusterstorm backup. Flusterstorm not super reliable. My opponent has so much mana. Ancestral Recall targeting yourself. I guess I let that resolve. Them drawing all their Atraxas or drawing their Gaia's Blessing is kind of my way out of this game. And we know Raph and Mikey and Gaia's Blessing were on the bottom of the deck. They were safe from that Ancestral, so this fetch land sequencing actually matters a lot. Okay, I'll plow this Atraxa. Opponent's 9 cards in hand. I imagine we're going to have a fight here. Wow, okay. Or they just don't care. Also reasonable. That's 3 of my 4 plows spent. Show and Tell, huh? Okay. I'll cast Force of Negation on that. Vexing Bauble be damned. This is legal. Storm is 4. Okay, you fluster me. I fluster you. Everyone's flustered. All right, I'm flustering Show and Tell over top. I'm not going to try to thread the needle and accurately click on all these fluster storms. Stack looking crazy. I could pay for a Spell Pierce, though there's so many targets on Show and Tell that Spell Pierce doesn't matter anyway. They have another Flusterstorm and can figure out how to click it correctly with 7.5 minutes on their clock. Honestly, resolving a Flusterstorm for 7 on this stack with your clock ticking is extremely intimidating, even to me who plays MTGO all the time. And my spell gets countered. Okay, I'm still in the position where if I find my Time Walk, I can steal this game. Flow State. We like looking. Okay, Flow State. Cast that one. Monastery Mentor. Mox Pearl Wasteland. Mox Pearl doesn't help. Wasteland Mentor to my hand. Now that Time Walk looking even better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can rip off a Lorien here. Karn the Great Creator. Do you matter? I don't really think so, but what else am I doing? Well, my options here are ram my spells onto the stack, pass, and just hope I survive. Or, like, oaths are going to trigger, but I guess only one oath triggers if I don't play a creature. That matters a lot. One oath versus two, pretty serious business. If their last Atraxas in their hand, Raph and Mikey might not actually hit unless Gaia's Blessing is hit over top of the Raph and Mikey. Yeah, I guess I play Karn here. I can't let them oath twice, and this is at least something. Okay, that's in there. There's nothing to wish for. Lattice doesn't matter here. I can't cast the Sphinx. I'll just kill their Mock Sapphire, and then attack for 1 and try to weather the storm. What I need is for Gaia's Blessing to be under the Raph and Mikey. And I don't remember where it was placed. Both of those cards were seen off of Atraxas. Okay, Raph and Mikey hit without Gaia's Blessing triggering. That means it's in these bottom 4 cards of their deck. Time Walk, Fluster, Beseiju, bunch of good stuff just milled. That was kind of the miracle I needed. Yeah, when this attacks, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature. I don't think there's an Atrax in the deck. I think it's Gaia's Blessing and some other shit. Raph and Mikey will reveal their deck here. Yeah, Brainstorm, Force of Will, Gaia's Blessing. Can you win this game anymore, opponent? Your Time Walk was milled. Mine's still in my deck. And if I put another creature into play... Oh, what is going on here? They're spending mana in combat? What is this? Okay, I'm at 12. You've got spells you can play. And I guess you could, like, stock up, put the Blessing in your hand, tuck Atraxa back in. All right, so they're going for it here. We know what they're looking at. It's Brainstorm, Gaia's Blessing, Force of Will. But if you put Blessing in your hand, then you can't go infinite with Oath anymore. And if I don't put a creature into play, you can't mill. So, like, right now, this is the last moment where some of these decisions matter. Oh my god. Okay. Kind of excited here. What do we do? I can Karn Lattice right now, which Raph and Mikey do trample, unfortunately. I gotta imagine Gaia's Blessing is just the last card right now. Can I waste you off blue? Or green? Can I deck you? Gaia's Blessing is also a cantrip. I'm gonna wasteland this Hedge Maze. Alright, where's your green mana, bro? So you draw, I take a big hit. Then next turn I can dump out all my creatures. I guess I should use Karn to get the Lattice, because that also forces my opponent to attack Karn if they're going to do anything, which buys me a turn. Lattice. Okay. Do I attack? Does it matter? I am going to attack. This thing tramples. Okay. Very strange game. Oh, shit. No, I have Lattice. It's okay. No, did I just undo my work? Because if they attack Karn, Lattice, part of the text on this is players can spend mana of any color. So me taking away their green mana doesn't matter if they kill Karn. They can then tap, like, Ancient Tomb to cast Gaia's Blessing. I might have just fucked up. I thought that was a free roll, but it's not at all. Uh-oh. I may have messed up. Wow, Vintage is so complicated. There's a lot going on here. And they scooped. Oh my god. What a crazy game. And now I'm up a game. I don't think they're going to have time to finish the game, for starters, but now 4 Containment Priests come in. I kind of really like this density of Flusterstorms versus the stock-up flow state business they're showing me. The Swords to Plowshares were huge that game. I don't think White Plume Adventure is how I'm going to win this game. Though, actually, I think the Tinker Citadel stuff kind of stinks. I can't shave all my win cons, but I can shave a lot of them. That's kind of the reason for this deck. All right, my Flusters fight your Flusters. Karn is always fine, because he's just like some number of Stone Rains when he resolves in Vintage, even if he doesn't do anything else. I think my opponent actually just didn't realize that Lattice let them cast Gaia's Blessing from their hand. I messed it up. They messed it up back. We take those. Maybe I just shave one of these off-color Moxen, since I'm cutting my Tinker. Consign to Memory can also counter Atraxa triggers and Oath triggers. That's not nothing here, but I don't think it's good. Yeah, I'm just betting my farm on Containment Priest. Okay, this hand is mid. Wasteland and Plow, as we determined, are pretty solid in this matchup. I don't think I can keep this hand, though. Oh no, it got worse. 5 cards? Deck, please. Alright, no, this one's actually fine. The Lorien Revealed makes it work. Here's the Time Walk that never showed up last game, but we managed to win anyway. My opponent's also on 5. I will bottom Swords to Plowshares, and I probably am just going to bottom the Time Walk. I think that's a card I want later, and this gives me Misstep, which is potentially solid, plus Force of Will. Opponent, I let their Lotus resolve. I could have forced that. On the mull to 5, I don't even think it's that crazy to do. But I didn't, so sue me. Come after me. Alright, don't have Force of Vigor, please. I don't know why that card would be in your deck against me, but, you know, I'd prefer if you didn't have it all the same. And I think this Probe is worth more as a blue card than it is as information right now. Opponent's got another land. I'll go get a Tundra. If I draw a blue card, I can probe and see what's going on over there. That's a white card. Hey, pass. I got something going on here. I can make constructs. I could cause problems. Stock up. I don't think that's my fight. Forbidden Orchard revealed. Giving me a dope. Force this, and I can't pay for spell, or I can beat a Fluster by paying for it and misstepping the last copy. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm gonna misstep first, because if they fight over this, then I'd rather have a construct and just try to kill them. But if they don't fight over this, then I can pay. Nice. Pay. 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 Please don't have another force blue card. Okay. We've weathered that storm. 2 cards in their hand. Flow State. Would I rather have a construct or cast Flow State? I think I'd like to try to win this game. And I could get Black Lotus right now and also cast Flow State. I could do it all. Sure. I like doing it all. Wasteland Mentor. I'll take the Mentor, and am I wastelanding? Yeah, I'm going to waste Underground Sea. That takes them off 3 mana for Show and Tell at stock up. It takes them, it doesn't take them off blue because they have Forbidden Orchard, but I have creatures anyway, so I'm not getting out from under this orchard. Ponder. Cast that first. Land Fluster. I do want to land. Attack. Something's happening. Oh, just surveilling mid-combat. Legal. Kept a card on top. Scary. Right, now I have a Surveil land online as well. That card's pretty good. I'm familiar with it. I'll get my Archive here. Another Tundra. I don't want that. Oh, there's the card I shuffled away in the first place. Okay, real question. Hold up interaction for Show and Tell or Flash versus Deploy Mentor, and I think it's a solid hold up Flusterstorm. Null Rod. Okay, I'll float a white. Null Rod resolves. Yeah, I don't care about that much. Now we got action. Let's run it down. It's got to fade Oaths or other things that kill me. Fetch. This is Oko. Show and Tell. Fluster that, please and thank you. Okay, the misstep plus pay strat. Okay, so I'm going to put in Mentor. I'm going to plow whatever they put in. And I'm going to have a really good board going into my turn. They get a full hand, but I get to mush their face, I hope. Raph and Mikey. Oh, it's the bad one. Let's go. Plow that shit before combat. Mentor triggers. They've just used Misstep. Force blue card. Hell yeah. Okay, we're getting a real game. We're getting a real game, team. That was sick. All right, this is going to shit Atraxa into play. Wow. All right, the Raph and Mikey tech is actually going to win them this game. If that was just Atraxa, or they had the Force blue card anyway, so they're probably still doing okay. 3, 4, 5. I have 5 toughness I could block with. This is 14 damage. Yeah, I just have to take this and... Wait, why'd they concede? Oh, wait, they're going to be at 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need to draw a lot of... Did they forget they were going to gain life? Huh. I think I'm losing this game, but All right, we'll take it. They're probably not winning game 3 with 1 minute on the match. Like, maybe that's their thought process, but on to the next round. That was crazy. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2 versus a non-Lurrus strategy. The mana just doesn't quite work here. If this Mox was blue or white, I could go turn 1, Lotus, Mox, Mentor, Time Walk. Or if the Mox was blue, that's even better. Then I could go Lotus, Mentor, Mox, Trigger, Land, Time Walk, Trigger. I don't know what matchup I'm in, and I don't know if a turn 1 Mentor with 2 Wastelands is going to be good enough. I think I have to maul this. I just want to really think about it, because there's a lot of power in this hand in my deck that's pretty modest overall. Yeah, like, if this Mox was the right color, or if one of these Wastelands was a Tundra, I think this hand is a keep, but I'm going to mulligan here. Oof. All right, opponent has mulled to 6. I'd love if they pitched a Serum Powder so I knew what I was up against here. They mulled to 5. Ugh. Do I keep on the strength of a bunch of Wastelands and just bet my whole house that they are on Dredge? Problem is this hand sucks. And last hand would have been awesome if they're on Dredge. Okay, I'll go to 5 as well. Now I don't have a Wasteland. Opponent has stopped on 5. I guess I'll keep here as well. And what is my plan? Plan is to draw a Mox and rip off Equip Tinker. Okay, Wooded Foothills. I don't know what that is. Deathrite Shaman. I'll take it. We're both on low resources. If I can cut off something that powerful, I'm going to do it. I could play Blooded Strand and then try to get something out of the Urza Saga. I think I'd rather do that than get the Saga ticking. Maybe I get nothing, but I get a Tinker target faster. Or a Tinker stackable faster. Yeah, Wasteland. I'm just going to draw. If I have a Mox, I can beat this. Okay. Ponder. Veil of Summer. Yeah, they're just trying to draw a card. I respect it. A Wasteland for me as well. Now I could take the Mystical Tutor and get Ancestral here. Is spending 2 mana and 2 cards to get Ancestral better than just shuffling here? Because what I want is a Mox. I'm just going to shuffle. Ended up with a Wasteland anyway. 2 Wastelands for my opponent. Green Sun Zenith for 2. Gross. Do they have something cool like Badgermole Cub or Keen-Eyed Curator? I'm going to take the Surveil here while the Wasteland's tapped. This is a big window to find a Mox and jam this Tinker. Strip Mine, no thank you. Big Rips. Jeez, deck. Harsh beats over here. Now I have to stay ahead of the double Wasteland. And that first hand would have killed the shit out of this opponent. I mean, you're not going to just guess that your random vintage opponent in a league with no information is on Gruul Creatures, where Monastery Mentor just solos their whole shit. I would never guess that in my life. But now that I know, I could keep hands like that starting next round, or starting after sideboard. And I'm going to float a blue. Just make my opponent think about anything. Okay. Curator gets 3 points in. Every hit I take makes Bolas's Citadel worse. I got a deck full of plows, deck full of artifacts, deck full of card advantage. Got a lot of options here. I just need my deck to deliver any of them. Force of Will kind of sucks. I'm going to Wasteland their Taiga. If I can make this game about a 3-3, that might be a game I can win. But every time this 3-3 hits me, my life gets worse. There are instant creature land sorcery across graveyards. My opponent, if they draw mana right now, they could make this 7-7. It's very nice of them that they didn't do that. Come on, deck. I hate you so much, deck. Okay, I am gonna play out the Urza Saga, because if they Wasteland, then they have to stop eating things. And if they don't Wasteland, oh wow, didn't Wasteland or eat. That was a full miss. Big mistake. Unfortunately, if they draw mana here, wasting Urza Saga and eating it is land and enchantment under the Curator all at once. Oh no, it happened. We'll have a 0 punish throw. If they don't realize that Urza Saga is 2 card types, they might just eat 2 cards with their 2 mana, like eat Deathrite. Okay, cool, they don't realize this is how this works. This is still bad for me, but it's not as bad. Okay, you got a 7/7. Bolas' Citadel, no longer a reasonable path out of here. I need a removal spell. And I guess we're in the cursed deck thinning phase of the game, because I'm on my last outs here. I'll go grab a Tundra. Come on, Swords to Plowshares. Bring me home. Stock up. That's a lot of looks at Swords to Plowshares. We're still in this. Stonks. Show me the money. We're in. Okay. Swords to Plowshares and Ancestral Recall. Both solid cards, I dare say. I think I should do this in the upkeep. This Forest doesn't represent a counterspell. And if they have Mental Misstep, I'd rather force some negation to fight back at this low life total. Look at that shit. And I guess at this point I just pitch Tinker. I'm not getting Bolas' Citadel with 3 life. Okay. Pressure's off. Can my vintage deck do vintage things now? After just watching a raccoon take 17 of my life points away. Okay, taking out the Saga. The Ignoble Hierarch. I'm not Force of Willing that. So I'm not excited to see it. All right, Ancestral, big rips. Let's go. Swords to Plowshares. I am just jamming that right off. I don't want to know what your red and black mana do in your deck. And that thing is going to kill me in 3 turns anyway. Oh, pass without doing anything? All right, now it's your turn to suffer. I am not going to cycle this Lorien Revealed because it's so close to being a Lorien Revealed. Though it is also close to hardcasting Force of Will. I'm just kind of hoping my opponent bricks off for a while and lets me get back in this. A Stock Up, a Flow State, getting the initiative, a Monastery Mentor. I have so many good things. Okay, that resolves, but that means I do have to cycle the Lorien now. So I can hold up Force in the future. Let's go. Let it flow. Let yourself go. Mystical Tutor. My Ancestral and my Tinker are once again spent. Wasteland, Flow State again. Karn the Great Creator. That's a win condition. And Lorien Revealed. That's a card we can cast. Okay, pass. This is the turn. Please don't kill me. I'm good against spells still because of Flusterstorm. These forces are turned off by the Bauble. It is possible my opponent just cycles off the Bauble sooner than later. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, sick. What a weird game that was. Sphinx of the Steel Wind looks pretty good in this matchup. Whatever it is we're doing here. White Plume Adventurer. That looks good too. Force of Negation seems mediocre. Flusterstorm, maybe mediocre as well. I do believe in Bolas' Citadel. There were about 4 turns that game where it would have been great. And then it quickly became a 0. I like my mana. I like my card advantage. I like my interaction with creatures, which is Force of Will and Plow. Maybe I don't need all 4 White Plumes in. Minor adjustments. This actually seems like a matchup that should be great. We did see Green Sun Zenith. Do I want some priests in here? Where would I put them? Probably over something like Flusterstorm, but Flusterstorm also counters Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this with these 2 cards. Okay, I've got my Tinker again. Do I believe in the possibility of drawing any of these 7 artifacts this game? We'll find out. I am keeping the hand. Burden Catacombs. Basic Forest. The Doctor. Alright, there he is. Monastery Mentor. I like this card. I am going to play around Wasteland and into Deathrite Shaman. Giving them another thing to eat in the graveyard could hurt me long term, but I think getting Wastelanded is worse. This tutor could get Plow or Ancestral, I think are the reasonable options. Red in the pool. Oh, Squelcherino. Okay. My hand had no counterspells anyway. Ignoble Hierarch. Having 1 Wrath of the Skies on the deck to tutor for would be pretty nice right now. Mystical Tutor. Grab Ancestral Recall. If I Ancestral now, I'm playing around Pyroblast, but it's possible if I don't hit an artifact, I have to discard a hand size. I think that's a worthwhile risk. Or I could hit like plow. Okay. Plow delivered. And I guess I'll take the Squelcher out. Pretty weak to Wasteland right now. Opponent's got a lot of stuff, but I got a pretty good hand. There's that Wasteland. Gone. 3 cards left over there. Keen-Eye Curator. That does hit like a bus. Do I just force the Tinker, force pitching Tinker again? Do I just eat this for life? All right. The alternative is pitching the Lorien. All right, yeah, Tinker. The worst Tinker I've ever put in any deck. They didn't have Red Blast. Good to know. And no attack. Okay, so they have up Activate Deathrite Shaman, which is worth the same as an attack, but it also affects my graveyard. That makes sense that they would do that. Do I want to aggro Time Walk now or set up Mentor Time Walk on a future turn? I think I'd rather have Mentor Time Walk on a future turn. Exiling my Ancestral, I'm at 14. Bayou revealed, they are Jund. Yeah, you do get the extra point here and can still Deathrite because you drew the Bayou. End step, Cycle Lorien revealed. This is a sorcery in the graveyard. Tundra's the only thing I can get here. Wasteland. Okay. I think I'm going to play Wasteland and hold my horses for a turn. Opponent has not done anything with a bunch of open mana for 2 turns now. That makes me think they might have removal in their hand. Like, their hand is either 2 lands or it's reactive stuff. And if it's reactive stuff, I don't want to just tap out for Mentor, get it bolted or Abrupt Decayed, and then the game's over. Ren and 6. Gross, dude. Right, pretty dead here. They can just start wastelanding my wastelands even, if they want to. Did pick up Wasteland. Like, if you waste me, I waste you back, and you're temporarily down a card, but immediately up a card, or long-term up a card, because Ren will just pick it back up. But short-term, you're fine. All right. I'd really like to draw Black Lotus. I think that's the card that gets me back into this game. Or Force of Will. Like, that would give me a turn to develop the Mentor with some protection. Did not attack with Noble Hierarch, so they clearly have a spell in their hand. Okay, Time Walk is a sorcery. Right. I tried pretty hard to get this far. Time Walk. If they have a Pyroblast, I can fluster it, and then they're tapped out into my bonus turn. No such luck. Black Lotus? Please, Black Lotus? Strip Mine. Not what I'm looking for under the Ren and 6. I guess I can develop Mentor here with Fluster up, and I'm just going to have to be happy enough with that. Okay, here's Mentor. Mentor is the type of card that can completely dominate a fair strategy like this one. It will depend entirely on if they have something super clean like Abrupt Decay in their hand. Lightning Bolt. Who said that card might be in their hand 3 turns ago before casting Monastery Mentor? Let's go. All right, I got 1 good exchange. Can this carry? Okay, pass. Please don't have another Lightning Bolt. Opponent has a pause set in their draw step, and every turn I think I'm about to get Bonfire of the Damned. It's stressful shit. Oh, this Wasteland came straight from hand. No help from Ren and 6. Were you holding that the whole game? Was that other reactive card in the hand that we haven't seen yet? Ren kills a monk. And Moment of Truth. Okay. I get to flow state here. Oh, stock up might be better. Because they can take me off flow state with Deathrite exiling the Time Walk. But you can't stop me from stocking up here. All right, big hits, big hits. Fast mana. Or no mana of any kind. All right, I'll take Lorien Revealed and Force of Will. And I'll attack Ren and 6 for 3. Something is going to leave this board this turn. Either their Noble Hierarch or their Ren and 6. Presumably the Hierarch's going to go. Okay, that does matter, because that's the black source they have to keep draining me out with Deathrite. Took the Time Walk. I don't have a Snapcaster Mage or a Mystic Sanctuary or anything like that, but they don't know that, so they are doing a good job making selections here. Another Wasteland from hand. What that means practically is it means Ren and 6 gets to kill my monks. It doesn't affect like what was going to happen that turn. It's just my monks don't get to keep going wide. But here I can flow state through the Deathrite. Oh, they don't even have black, so we're actually fully safe. If I draw a blue card here, I'll feel really good. Like, tapping out of Force for the Mentor even briefly is a little stressful here because it's the only thing I got going on. Okay, now I don't have to. I guess I didn't really have to anyway. Yeah, it takes black mana to exile a spell. All right, Flow State's good to go. Flow State, land drop still available. Force of Will still in my hand. 2 more Flow States. Yeah, let's keep those coming. And now Ren or Deathrite will die. These are both very serious permanents. The Hierarch was kind of whatever, but this is a real decision now. I think we're getting there, team. I feel like the corner's been turned after a couple stressful moments. All right, Ren's gone. Betting on Ren or Deathrite. A second copy of Ren would be another thing that would make sense to be in their hand here. Yeah, they're eating their own creatures to gain some life. Wooded Foothills from hand. Hey, that turns Deathrite back on. That's something I gotta be cognizant of. Ooh. I like Urza Saga. I'll play that as my land. And that lets me Flow State with Wasteland still up, because if they fetch another Bayou to get Deathrite on, I'd like to waste that. Got a bunch of plows in my deck, too, that finding any of those shuts it down. There's a plow. Okay, plow and stock up to the grip. Fetch my basic planes. Send it upstairs. This should close the game. They're exiling their Noble Hierarch. Sure. And then fetching. Oh god, what's happening right now? Commercial District. Why are they doing all this in response to a fetch land? Mana Gorger Hydra. That's one of my favorite vintage cards of all time. Okay. Plow. Mentor. Officially turning the corner. Attack for 7. I'll take the Wasteland. Let's go. I think you're far enough behind that I don't need to be clever with that. We got the GGs. Those games were both pretty stressful, but I do think I'm pretty well advantaged on the deck construction front. Just 4 Swords to Plowshares, Monastery Mentor. I'm not trying to do anything too clever. Like, I'm not going to get wasted out of a game most of the time. Like a Dredge deck, I'm not going to get Zenith for Collector Roofed out of a game like some of the combo decks. Okay, here we go. Next round.
The NYSE Open is returning on June 6, 2026 to Long Island, New York. This proxy-friendly vintage tournament has the guaranteed prize pool of 8 pieces of Power 9 to be drafted by the top 8 based on final standings. Any additional profits made from the event will be added to the prize pool as on-site vendor credit. This tournament has been great the last 2 years. How often do you get to act sad about winning just a time walk? You know I'll be there. See you at the NYSE Open on June 6 on Long Island, New York. Use my link in the video description or find the New York Stacks Exchange on melee.gg.
I'm on the play against Luris. Something Luris. I played against this person the other day, but I forget exactly what build they were on. Turn 1, White Plume. I'm going to try this. And this could go badly, but I'm after it. Black Lotus on the stack Lotus. And I'm going to play around Mindbreak Trap by just ripping off White Plume. We're in there. Interesting. I'll go get Basic Island, and then Basic Island plus Mox Pearl are all the colors my deck is. All right, pass it. First appearance of White Plume Adventure in a spot I could cast it in a game. Feels good. Underground Sea. Mox Emerald. Oh, this is what they were on. Okay, yep. This creature has flying. That's actually kind of a beat. Mox Sapphire. I'm going to end step Mystical Tutor. And if they have a Pierce or a Fluster that they didn't have before, like I could just get Swords to Plowshares and keep this game where I want it. I could get something like Tinker and really send it. I could get Time Walk and just work my way through the dungeon. But they do eventually stabilize from that. Ancestral, of course, just draws a bunch of cards. I think I'm going to get Plow. I'm going to keep this game tight. Forge onto my Adventurer. Play Wasteland to get around Spell Pierce. Plow, you're dope. Brainstorm. Misstep. No way, Jose. No YOLO digs on my watch. Wasteland you. Just playing the white initiative game right now. The opponent's at 17. Underground Sea. Trap ya. Go to 12. Attack. And this thing untaps itself, so I'm not playing around a flash creature anyway. Okay, Abrupt Decay. That's fine because I still have the initiative. I don't think I'm playing out this Emerald. Leave something to the imagination. Wasteland. Fine. Luris in hand. I get to draw 2 cards this turn. Archive, and Flusterstorm. Okay, so I'm actually a terrible Throne of the Dead 3 deck. There are 2 creatures in my deck right now. So, like, normally, this is the room where the game can't really be won anymore by anyone trying to play fair. But I could eat poo here. Luckily, their lands don't actually cast Luris. All right, moment of truth. Can I hit one of my 2 creatures in 10 cards? Absolutely not. All right, those are the bottom. Draw for turn. Low state. That is not on. I'm still going to do it, though. It turns on the next one. Swords to Plowshare straight into my hand. Okay, let's go. Now, this spot's a little stressful, because if they have a mana that casts Luris, their other mana might... Oh no, I exiled this thing. That was a plow. Never mind. There's nothing in the graveyard that Luris can deploy. A Psychic Frog. Okay, so their hand is Luris and 1 unknown. I don't think I'm going to play around the 1 unknown being Flusterstorm. If it is, I'm in a lot of trouble. Misstep. All right, well, I can beat that one. It had to be Flusterstorm. We still can't cast Luris with their mana. I'm going back into the top of the dungeon, which gets my planes. We're back in the good rooms. But now I'm drawing all the artifacts in my deck. All right, fade, 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 fade. Didn't do anything. All right, I think I have to go into the Lost Well this time. Scry 2. Wasteland Tolarian Academy. I actually don't want any of this. I want spells deck. Mox Sapphire, you're killing me. All right, I will put that one into play. This represents Force of Will that they can think about. Wasteland, that doesn't cast Luris either. What a strange game. I'll make a treasure. Swords to Plowshares, happy to see that. There was some consideration to going into the arena, goading nothing just so I can draw an extra card next turn. Is that better than a Spooky Skeleton? Maybe. Okay. Your Collector Oof resolves. And then I'm going to Swords to Plowshare it with my mana floating. Just in case there's a soft counter. Okay, I get a Spooky Skeleton. Tundra. My opponent has 2 Wastelands in play. Monastery Mentor's in my deck. I'm going to hold back the Mox Ruby. Okay, Throne of the Dead 3. We're coming back around. Another 10 looks at 2 creatures. Underground Sea. Uh-oh, they're in business on Luris now. And I have a creature that can defeat Luris in combat. All right, Throne. Deliver the goods. Hell yeah! All right. I'm back in the top room immediately. And more importantly, I have a giant body. I'm out of basics. Strip mine. Okay. I think I want to take them off the double black. They have green over here with the Mox. And I am not going to attack. In the White Plume having hexproof might... Oh, fuck. I forgot I got to untap all my squad. I missed 4 damage. All right. I'll take that. Not an initiative player here. That was just a bleed. Okay, so I get to tee off every turn because I've completed a whole dungeon. Hey, do I want a forge or well? I kind of want a well. Keep the spells coming. Force of will, force of will. All right, I'll put 1 on the bottom, but I will take 1 of them. And if they Abrupt Decay White Plume Adventurer, that's the way I lose this game. So I'm going to just get in with my Menace guy. I guess it's the same thing, isn't it? It's literally the same. Because I don't get to untap the Menace guy if they have Abrupt Decay. All right. I'm just playing very poorly here. Yep, I deserve everything that just happened. Okay, so opponent gets to take the initiative, which is not a big deal. They get to search for a basic. I have missed 8 damage this game. Or I missed 4 damage this game. They would have decayed in combat to save that 6, and it's just the 4. I missed 4 damage this game. Yikes. Somehow it doesn't feel better when you call out what they could have. And you're right. It's just, it still sucks. Okay, attack with my skeleton. And do I want the card? I could goad Luris here, or I could take the treasure. Do I want a 4-1, or do I want... Yeah, I think I actually just do want a 4-1, because that can push Luris back in combat as well. Wasteland. Keep taking out their black sources, I guess. I am also losing the damage race, especially because they could forge onto Luris here, but a 4-1 will still beat a 5-4. A Bayou Fetched. I don't know how many black sources they play, but I can't imagine there's many left. Okay. You could forge here, or you could Lost Well. Yeah, last 2 turns ago when playing around the Abrupt Decay, if I wanted to play around Abrupt Decay, I should have only attacked with White Plume. That's what I could have done. Okay. Not a spell. Impossible. Challenge level impossible. No spells allowed. Skeleton makes a new skeleton, which now keeps Luris out of combat. I will play this Flooded Strand, and if they Wasteland it, I don't think I'm going to fetch in response. Because that shuffles my deck. Or wait, no. Throne of the Dead 3, you shuffle your whole deck. Never mind. This doesn't go to the bottom like Atraxa. So if they fetch, or if they shuffle, I will fetch. I was thinking maximizing getting my Mentor into play and having bottomed 20 cards without shuffling, but I have shuffled twice. Both times that happens. They've got 3 cards in hand. If it's removal spell with backup, they can take this over. I mean, they're dead on board, so they have to attack. Where I will trade off Spooky Skeleton number 2 for Luris. Now I'm pretty far ahead again. Throne of the Dead 3. Can my last creature in the deck be revealed here? Life is good. Monastery Mentor. Been holding this Mox Ruby for 11 turns. Mox Ruby. Trigger. Okay, they've had enough. I missed 4 damage that game. Messed up. And then I also gave up the initiative on a turn I didn't need to, while also maybe missing damage. So there were 2 initiative-related mistakes made there. Gotta learn how to play this deck, I guess. Okay. Sphinx of the Steel Wind. Historically pretty good versus bug decks. Do I want to just shove White Plume Adventurers all over these fair creature decks? Is that how we do this? Forces of Negations are mid. And this is like the match I played last round, except this one has their own counter spells. And Throne of the Dead 3 hitting Sphinx of the Steel Wind, that would send me into a coma. I could shave a Fluster here. I do still kind of believe in the Bolus of Citadel. If I get a runway, it's pretty nice. Opponent's a Collector Oof deck. That doesn't affect Bolus of Citadel specifically. I could shave the Mystical Tutor. It did just have a great moment, but knowing we're in a fair matchup, that's not really about hyperspeeding Tinker. Yeah, I think I am going to shave the Mystical and keep my Flusters in. Mystical Tutor is card disadvantage, but if the card that you're getting is something like Tinker that will win the game on its own, then it's okay to go down a card to do it. This is a little bit risky. Urza Saga is specifically weak to a number of things. Cycling the Lorien unlocks, like, I'm against a Wasteland deck. I'm not obsessed with Flusterstorm. Time Walk could get things going. All right, I will keep this. It would be really nice if my first or second draw of the game is just a land. But if not, I am still on the edge here. Cycling Lorien and plowing something gets Flow State on. That does what it needs to. Opponent's on a Multa 6. And the Doctor. And Mox Sapphire. Hey! Bam, 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 bam. Top rope. Okay, I'm going to plow this Death Right in my opponent's upkeep, I guess. Still not even convinced that that's better than just like a Kishla Skimmer or something. Luris to the hand. Oh, good. I drew the worst card in my deck. I think I should play Saga to get this Wasteland on the hook. And then I can cycle Lorien for Island. Floating a colorless. This was a strategic give up. And I am going to get the basic Island. I think if I can Flow State and Time Walk and stock up, I'll figure it out. Are we ramming Luris into play or being more careful with something smaller? Kishla Skimmer, sure. Glad I cleared that Death Right. And here we go with Flow State. Fill me up. Emerald and Pearl. Let's leave Sphinx of the Steel Wind in my deck, please. Playing these out lets my opponent know that Collector Oof might be okay. Holding them back means the Vexing Bauble could just lock out a bunch of my gameplay. I think having them in play is better. Kishla draws a card when a card leaves your graveyard during your turn. There's no Psychic Frog in play. There's no Death Right in play. Luris could get into play, but doesn't have anything to put there. All right, the Kishla army grows. Mystic Sanctuary tapped. All right, deck, can we find something good? That card is nice. I am going to put Tolarian Academy into play and then play stock up. This plays around soft permission. Getting Spell Pierced or Flustered here would be just shameful shit. Flow State and stock up in my hand, please. I'll just stock up. I can't play around the soft permission here anyway. Swords to Plowshares, love it. Force of Will, love it. Okay. Opponent's got the goods over there, but I'm starting to turn the corner. 4 damage in. I'm going to force this pitching Flusterstorm. I don't think Fluster's doing much for me here, and I'm very interested in Flow State and Time Walk. And Ancestral Recall. I'll point that at my face. Sapphire, that's worth 2 mana here. Could be even more. Flow State. Lotus White Plume, okay. This is now Bolus's Citadel if I want it. Okay, Black Lotus, play that. Tundra, play that. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, I can't Citadel and White Plume and Time Walk here. I think I'll have to settle for White Plume plus Time Walk, and then I'll just have a extremely fucked up next turn. There's nothing to search for. A Time Walk, and not spending that extra mana. Do I want Lost Well or Forge? Ooh, am I getting dismembered? I am. My poor little member. I don't think this is worth a force. And this means I'm definitely going into the Lost Well. Scry, Scry. Meticulous Archive to the bottom, Plow to the top. Now I can Citadel, Plow, Plow, have a totally stable board. Blue, 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 black, black, black. Put a green in there. Not using that for anything else. Citadel. I still have my land drop. Wasteland. Gitaxian Probe you. And his Fatal Push. Swords to Plowshares. Swords to Plowshares. Waste you off green. Soul Ring. Lorien Revealed. Arn. Not bad, not bad. White Plume Adventurer. Alright, well, that Sphinx is unfortunate to see. I will go into the stash. Karn, blow up your Mox. And, alright, I'll just stop there. Hope they can't deal 5 to me somehow. With Fatal Push in hand and 2 mana. Okay, finally this half of the deck kicked in. Pulse is at all. Pretty good card. Even in a deck that's bad for it. Demonic Tutor. Okay. What's that going to do? Just grab an Ancestral Recall and hope you get another turn, maybe? Or look at your deck and realize you have no outs. Also fair. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I mean, against these decks with creatures that just try to attack you like the last couple, and like Esper and Dimir Frog, I get the appeal for main deck plows and just bigger stuff than them. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 4, and guess what, team? This Tinker that I've been struggling with throughout the league is about to have its moment to shine. Turn 1 Tinker with Force backup, putting Bolus the Citadel into play. I'm against a non-Lurrus deck that kept 7. And there's a good chance this just doesn't go anywhere, because that's how my deck's constructed. But if I can do anything, it's pretty good. All right, Swords to Plowshares, sure. Let's game. All right, what are you over there? A workshop strategy. Please cast a creature. Hell yeah. Scrawly Crawly. I'll plow Scrawly Crawly. All right, Flow State on top of my deck. Okay, I do have instant and sorcery. Grafdigger's Cage. No, 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 no. That was a pretty good follow-up to my turn 1, but can't allow it. Okay. Now I get a whole turn to do stuff. I could just cast this Flow State, but I think hitting the land drop and trying to do more is better. Ponder holding priority. Plow is on top. Okay, I can clear all these cards. I draw a Plow from Ponder. I cast the Probe, draw the other Ponder. Opponent's got Wasteland, Shop, Wasteland, Tez. Okay, here's a real card to cast. Hold priority. Pass priority. You hold priority in case there's an instant there. Tap Mox Pearl for Soul Ring. And then it's time to Flow State. I've put as many artifacts into play as I'm going to be able to. Put Force of Will and Mox Emerald into my hand. Mental Misstep on top. Not what we're looking for. But again, Bolas's Citadel, from all my years playing Oath of Druids, Bolas's Citadel in a bad Citadel deck is still very, very stupid. Probably going to lose my Academy this turn. Oh, no. Okay, so they drew the ability to cast their Tez, which I will force. And that means the Wastelands are going to hold for a turn. All right, how do we do? We're at 10. Can I find a way to win the game? Strip mine. Stock up, okay. Down to 7 life. Under on top of my deck. White Plume Adventurer and Flow State. Let's go. Okay. I feel a lot better now. And this White Plume Adventurer will shuffle away this Wasteland on top of my deck. I'll go get my island. Force negations on top. I'm still going to Flow State. Blue, blue, blue. Use the green. I do have another white, and I'll take the Force and negation to my hand. Another white bloom. Go straight into the Forge. Now it's time to kill my opponent. Blammo. Do I want to go to 4 to stock up, or just leave stock up on top of my deck? I am going to strip mine the Workshop. Just make it harder for them to come back. And I think I'm actually just going to pass here. Like, at some point, you got to stop taking the risk. So that was, air quotes, bad Bolas's Citadel, but it still completely dominated that game, as it will do. I seem to be against... I'm not entirely sure, because Scrawly Crawly goes in both Prison Shops and Raker Shops sometimes. Definitely a colorless Shops deck with Tez. Does Tez necessarily indicate Raker? I'm going to look it up real quick. Yeah, a quick Goldfish search shows that Tezzeret is not in Sphere Shops, so I'm pretty confident this is Raker. And they are going to be a pretty fast, redundant combo deck with a lot of colorless cards, and one of their core combo pieces is a creature, so the plows are going to stay in. Herx is very good versus Sphere Shops, that's the point of it. I'm not sure that I want it here. A Mental Misstep, Gataxian Probe. Or no, Mental Misstep's actually good because their combo is Sensei's Top. I might actually board out the Tinker and the Citadel. And I had a moment there, but now I'm on the draw. And if they saw all that, and if they had Grafdigger's Cage in their main deck, like, they might warp their sideboard thinking I'm more on that than I am. And I can get all the way off it. I could just bring in these 4 interactive spells plus an extra White Plume. Or I could reconsider this Herx and try to find a spot for it. And Karn is the best card in my deck here. I think I will grab a Herx. Sometimes they have a Prison Shops pivot out of the sideboard. And I guess I don't need Mystical Tutor now that Tinker's out of the deck. Okay. I do want to be on board and hitting them, which is why I want at least one more threat in my deck. All right, this hand's a little slow, but I do have basic Island plus Mox Pearl, cast Ponder, cast Plow, and then Flow State is on for my next turn. If I get turn 1 ringed or some shit, I lose. There's no force in this hand, but I do like the upside here. 1 to 5 cards. Mana Crypt resolves. Talon Gates. Warps out nothing. Tezzeret. That also resolves, unfortunately. Tutoring a Vexing Bauble. Oh, that they can play. Yeah, that's tough. Alright, that locks out my Mox Pearl. But okay. Does make my hand a little worse. I'm just gonna Flooded Strand pass. I wish I could Ponder there, but they had the Vexing Bauble. Holy moly. Alright. I guess I am not gonna concede, though I should. No, you're good, you're good. I get it, you win. Okay, we took turns not really playing the game. I could have mulliganed that hand, and maybe I should have, but I don't know, I think the upside was there. I still don't feel too bad about that. Okay, I have a Force of Negation in this hand, but the hand doesn't do anything else. Academy actually costing me this hand being keepable. I will mull this one. Alright. Force is good. I think I'm going to bottom Mentor. That's just the card that's the farthest away from being useful right now. Tundra, go. Opponent kept 7. Ancient Tomb. Soul Ring. Scrawling Crawler. Well, that doesn't line up with the interaction I have. I am going to Wasteland. Try to keep a lid on this as much as I can. We both draw a card here. The Mox is welcome. Wasteland, tough. I'll float a blue. I obviously don't have Plow, but I could bluff that I have Consign. Let's delete this card from the game and also put an instant in my graveyard. Flow State, Plains, Mox. I'm going to Flow State for 1, because then I can Flow State for 2 next turn. Guess I'll take Lorien Revealed from these options. Wasteland drawn again. Manifold Key. Good thing I exiled that Time Walk. Time Vault. Draft Digger's Cage. Okay. I boarded out the only card in my deck that cares about that. Sensei's Top. That one's pretty scary. Alright, can I find one of my Swords to Plowshares before it's too late? Wasteland. Flow State. Oh, I should have used Ruby to do this. I didn't adjust my information well enough. Time Walk is coming out. And I guess I want Soul Ring. Yeah, if I had used Ruby, I would still have my land drop and I could Time Walk right now. I'll take Soul Ring, Mox Ruby, Soul Ring, and pass. I can't really cast this Lorien into the Crawler. I get attacked to 5. I draw a card, I'm at 4. Yeah, I guess I could Lorien to 1. A Soul Ring doing some stuff. Flesh Raker. Please be out of cards. Okay, here we go. It's a big time to have a big turn. Stock up. That one's not bad. Okay, if I don't kill Scrawly, I'm in trouble. So I'm gonna stock up first. Jeez, deck. Okay. I guess it's Black Lotus and Ponder. All right, Lotus and Ponder. Play Black Lotus. Play Tolarian Academy. And I could Lorien Revealed, and if I miss, I'm just dead. Ponder sees all the same cards Lorien Revealed does, plus a bonus one. Yeah, Ponder's better. Gotta shuffle. Consign to memory. Okay, so I could actually Lorien, kick Consign, counter a bunch of Scrawly triggers. That might be my way out of this. So I go to 3, then I Time Walk, and then I go to 2. Maybe I'll just draw Swords to Plowshares and it's not a problem. Nope, impossible. Mox Emerald, and then we've got 5, 6, 7. You can use a green and a red here. I don't use those for anything else. Lorien Revealed. Draw 3 cards. I'm going to have to counter all these triggers. Cast with Replicate. Replicate 2. Counter. Flipping your top in response. Interesting. I guess like trying to find Mindbreak Trap. Countered, countered, countered. Stock up. I guess I should tap Mox Sapphire to cast this. Monastery Mentor, Ancestral Recall. Another stock up. Wow. This was a lot of cards without a Swords to Plowshares. Just saying. Okay, I guess I gotta take stock up and Ancestral. Or do I have to take Tundra here? I need to hit 2 white cards. Okay. I think it has to be Tundra, actually. And then stock up, blue, blue, blue. Gotta hit 2 Swords to Plowshares off this. 0! 0 Swords to Plow. Alright. It was not my day to win this game. I feel like I just looked at 56 cards in my deck, and the 4 I didn't see were the plows. On to the next round. July 24th through 26th, Excalibur Events will be running one of their 3-day weekends in Columbus, Ohio. This event will feature a CEDH 25K, Riftbound tournaments, sorcery tournaments, and Magic side events, including, on Sunday, a pre-modern 5K, which I will be attending and participating in. If you want to come compete, sign up in the link in the video description and use code KOVAL for $5 off entry. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in the final round. My hand's a little dopey. Okay, we're playing against Zerda, so this is this combo deck that I've seen come up in all of my recent matchups. I have Black Lotus, Ponder, Time Walk here. Like, this hand is not nothing. It's just, can I do better? I am going to try keeping this. I think I want to start with Ponder and just see what that does, and then I can decide where else I'm going. Stock up, Lorien Revealed. Interesting. I could play stock up right now. I could also put Lorien Revealed in my hand, play Time Walk, cycle Lorien Revealed. I think I'd rather do all those things next turn. I'm going to put Lorien in my hand and play Black Lotus and just pass. The Zerda deck can't play Sphere or things like that. Like, this is a combo deck. I think my mana is mostly safe. Misty Rainforest, Mox Ruby, Time Walk, go nuts. Mox Jet, Black Lotus. Opponent knows my only interaction for spells is Flusterstorm right now. Okay. Must be able to fluster me back, I guess. Alright, well, I'll Tinker. Or this is just the... Or I'll Fluster the Tinker. This might just be the force one copy, pay for the others line. Or it was all bait for a Yogwill. Alright, cycle the Lorien. Get Tundra. That shuffles away the stock up on top of my deck, but I can't play it now anyway. Okay, we got a just counted wrong LOL in the chat, and then followed by the land drop. Hey, yeah, that would have resolved the Tinker. We take those. Not too proud. I'll play this Time Walk. I'm just desperate to make my hand do anything different. Monastery Mentor. Fuck it, we ball. I don't think Wasteland's going to stop my opponent, and my hand is 2 Swords to Plowshares. Go. Alright, F6. The info's all there. Could just put Zerta in front of Mentor, but that's actually really bad because it turns on the plows, which also triggers Mentor. Okay, Zerta in hand. Alright, I can take you off black here. I should probably attack first, just in case Fatal Push is in your hand. Okay, Wasteland off black. I have enough powerful 3-drops in my deck, stock up, Force of Negation, White Plume, that I don't want to just jam off a second Wasteland here. Soul Ring. Rim Monolith. Okay, so that's infinite mana with Zerta, but I have double plow in my hand, and everyone knows it. A good card. Little bit of a risk here. If I miss on a white source off this stock up, infinite mana could come down my throat. But, like, you need... Infinite mana doesn't win the game on its own. You need to do something with it. Alright, and I got rewarded anyway. Flooded Strand and Ancestral Recall, among the best things I could hope for there. And I'm just going to attack. I just realized something I said a few seconds ago might have sounded very bad, and I didn't mean it that way. Oh, they actually have infinite mana through the plow because you can untap Monolith in response to untapping Monolith, and like if you got it here, you got it. Okay, here's Zerta. I can't stop you from making infinite mana. The combo here is it costs 2 to untap Grim Monolith, but it taps for 3. So what's that last card in your hand? I could probably still beat something like Karn. And I do still have the YOLO out of Ancestral myself, try to hit Force Blue card. Okay, we've made double-digit mana. What are we doing with it? Is, like, Walking Ballista just in the hand? Oh, I guess if Walking Ballista is in the Karn package, I don't actually beat that. Oh, is this Math Magics? That would be fun. Urza. Okay. This can flip your whole deck and cast your whole deck and do it at instant speed. So I need to do the Ancestral thing. Alright, YOLO, baby. Ancestral, target me. Hope for a Force Blue card. Big money, no whammies! Oh, alright. Well, I'm not just scumming here. I want to... alright, I'm going to concede just because... Like, I want to see the cards in their deck and what their actual win condition is, but also, like, it's so miserable to flip your deck with Urza on Magic Online. I'll just give it up. Okay. Well, that was a nice little needle thread. I don't think leaving up the double plow would have saved me there. Yeah, because you just float infinite mana at any point, then you play Urza, and you flip your deck with Urza over top. Like, that's much easier to execute IRL. But okay, that is the 3rd or 4th Vintage League in a row that I've played against the Zerta deck, and it's the first time Zerta's done anything. Glad to see it. I like Consign to Memory. Force of Negation probably is necessary. Swords to Plowshare is better than normal against this deck, but I could still afford to lose some of them. Is this a matchup where I'm trying to White Bloom? I could just cut all of these. And I have Mentor and Karn to win the game. Is that enough? Yeah, game on. Control. Gaming. Let's go. Also, that game was on borrowed time, so the Magic Gods bailed my opponent out after just simply not understanding how Flusterstorm works. Okay, I like this hand a lot. I'm going to keep a turn 1 Mentor with Force backup. That's a nice place to be. Okay, Op has Maul to 5. It's just like turn 1 Tinker, except also restricted. There's a period of time where Monastery Mentor was not restricted, and that was a crazy time. Alright, I'll force you back, keeping the flow state in my hand. Yeah, there was like a year where vintage players were like, Mentor is better than Tinker. Why is Tinker restricted and Mentor not? And here we are now. Mana Vault. See what we can do here. Force of Negation. Ooh, annoying. I guess I have pretty good odds of hitting a blue card off of this flow state and at least moving my game forward. Hit another flow state. That's perfect because it's literally the same as if I had not flow stated as far as pitching that particular card to Force of Negation. But now there is a sorcery in my graveyard if my opponent doesn't have a send right now from their 3-card hand. Brainstorm, I have to live with. Okay, just didn't find any goods. We love Mentor. Is this a Herx matchup? I don't think so. It's not about having lots of artifacts on play for them. It's just assembling the correct ones, and I think the Consigns and 7 Forces are what that job is for. And Karn, of course. It's in there somewhere. All right, let's go. Same deck. Nice hand. I'll keep it. It's not a turn 1 Mentor, but the Tinker is here. And another restricted card. Opponent mull to 6. Mana Crypt, Valk Island, Manifold Key, Untap Crypt, Lotus. Oh, we're gaming. No thanks. Oh god, Flusterstorm? Alright, I mean, this is like a lot of work to resolve Ancestral Recall, which is just what my hand does for 1 mana. So, okay, I guess. Alright, you draw 3, and I go to my turn, I draw 3. I could also just Wasteland. I don't think that's better than resolving Ancestral Recall. Alright, Flusterstorm is up next turn. If opponent has Land Tinker right now, I just die. But these are 4 random cards off the top of the deck. Nothing was done intentionally here. This was not the Strength of the Keep or any such thing. 3, 4 mana. PO for 2. Alright, I can live with that. Flooded Strand, Mana Crypt, Kraken a Fetch, Demonic Tutor. Okay. We know Key is in the hand. This might just be Time Vault, which I have no answer for. Or could get something like Vexing Bauble if you already have the Time Vault. There's the key. All right, this is actually a tough spot if I don't find a good counterspell. Yeah, that's not it. Ponder. I'm looking for a force of anything. All right, Consign to Memory. I have to take. Don't shuffle that. Play my land, pass. Yeah, if they could protect this, I don't have a second mana to fluster back or to kick the Consign. Yeah, there it is with plenty of stuff left to do. Wow, okay. Counterspell worked. Yogg will. Okay, all right, sure. Just double covered. You got me. All right. I'm not even going to play to my Mana Crypt out there. It's fine. A positive record with this deck. I started out 3-0, 6-0. Nobody took a game off me. And then a suspicious mulligan, questionable mulligan. I don't think it was a punt mulligan versus Raker Shops, that game 2 where I just died on turn 1 without having any interaction. It was more like a choice that was made, and my opponent had the things that were contrary to the choice I made. And then that game 3, looking at my entire deck without seeing a Swords to Plowshares, kind of a bad beat, but we could see how that would go either way. And then that combo matchup, opponent, multiple nut draws in a row, got through my interaction. This deck is so weird because I'm just looking at it right now on this flat image and thinking how bad this looks and how it doesn't make a lot of sense. But also, the games were really good, and I felt like I was making a lot of good decisions throughout the league, and I had a lot of agency in all the games. I guess what's weirding me out is the Tinker that only gets Bolas's Citadel in a deck that's really bad at using Bolas's Citadel. Like, there might be something here if we're just not tinkering. Like, what if we cut Bolas's Citadel and Tinker and just have, like, a third Force of Negation and a third White Plume Adventurer in the main deck? I guess you'd probably cut Mystical Tutor from that deck as well. I do really like the control core, that stable, lock it down, I have inevitability, spend my cards to stop you, hit a flow state, hit a stock up, grind back in. I really like that. I don't like how poor some of the individual cards in the deck feel. As if you cut the Tinker, Citadel, Tinker, Mystical Tutor out, we move a White Plume from the sideboard into the main. That opens up a sideboard slot. which could be a second thing for Karn to do. Karn only gets Lattice here, and you can technically cast Sphinx with your Moxen, and that will come up if you play enough games. It's not 0, but something that Karn can get, like a Grafdigger's Cage or a Pithing Needle, or just something that functions in these non-GG situations. I can see there being a configuration to this deck that makes me really happy. There's also another cool thing here, which I'm going to go back into the Ancient Scrolls here. There was a deck called Blue Angels, probably 12, 15 years ago in Vintage, that used Restoration Angel and various things like Trinket Mage that get value over time. And I think that Vintage has left that behind. But there was a version of Blue Angels called Dance Magic Dance that featured Spirit of the Labyrinth. Shout out David Bowie. And that deck was a blue-white control deck, much like this one, but it didn't draw cards. The card advantage was Factor Fiction. And with Flow State and Stock Up right here, already available, and you'd still play Ancestral Recall because, that's what we're doing. I guess that makes Lorien Revealed a little awkward. That's not a card that existed 13 years ago. And like this being land plus sorcery in the graveyard early and then Ancestral Recall late is part of the strat. But I could see getting some Spirit of the Labs in here and trying to go Dance Magic Dance. You could even flex slot 1 Factor Fiction in at the top end. I feel myself sliding into building a whole new deck, which I'm not going to do here in this league wrap up. I'm going to stop this here, but those are my thoughts. Kind of impressed by the shell, extremely unimpressed by the number of slots that Tinker takes up in this deck while adding so little. And I would be open to this deck with a little more tuning. I'm going to leave this one here. Claire, thanks for sending it in. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.